You know me, SDMT. Let's get it, baby. But before we do, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and turn on my notifications, man. Shout out to the gang, man. All those that stay locked in and hit that video every time you get that notification, man. Now let's get to it, man. It looks like Coach Matt Nagy of the Chicago Bears, man, like he did not want Justin Fields, and it just kind of seems like he's trying to sabotage Justin Fields, man. Even Dan Orlovsky, you know what I mean, the former quarterback analyst who I almost never agree with, said Matt Nagy should be fired for his game plan against the Browns. When we look at that game, there was 9 sacks. You know what I mean? Justin Fields had 68 yards passing, but he was sacked 9 times and lost 67 yards passing. So he only netted 1 yard of actual passing yards. So we look at this, Myles Garrett went crazy, had 4.5 sacks, a Browns record. One of the sacks, he went unblocked. There was so much, things going on. How are you letting a guy that already has 3 sacks go by unblocked to hit your quarterback? You know what I mean? And you can see many times in some of the other games, Matt Nagy grabbing Justin Fields by the neck and things of that nature, by the pads. Would he grab Andy Dalton like that? He's been so steadfast on, Andy Dalton is our starter. When he returns, he's our starter. And, making Justin Fields do, scout team and not really having him as an option at quarterback. It just seems like he maybe didn't want Justin Fields. And if Justin Fields is to be the guy, he wants to be on his terms where he'll be praised for it. Because if Justin Fields goes out there and balls as a rookie, he's going to get all the praise. But if he sits on the bench, Matt Nagy's a great quarterback. Matt Nagy groomed him. So he'll get that, credit. And a lot of times when it comes to a lot of these coaches and these egos, that's what they want. Because in that game, they didn't use Justin Fields' running ability too much. He didn't have more than 15 yards running the ball. You know what I mean? He couldn't really pass the ball because he was under pressure and under fire like crazy. And they didn't really have a game plan to move the pocket around, do different things to help protect him. So we really look at this Matt Nagy, you know what I mean? We got to put him under pressure, man. He has not done a good job for the Chicago Bears, and he's definitely not handled this situation the best. I bet the decision to start Justin Fields probably came from above. They probably put that pressure on him so that he had to play Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Because that game plan and them not making adjustments to the Browns of what they were doing, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. Justin Fields has talent. We've seen it. We've seen the ability. But, when Matt Nagy cannot put him in the right position and make him look bad, that helps him. That'll help him later on. And, I groomed him. You know what I mean? Or we didn't want him. This seems like another RG3 situation with Shanahan. You know what I mean? Shanahan, they drafted RG3, but they drafted Kirk Cousins because Snyder wanted RG3. Shanahan didn't want him. He took Kirk Cousins, and he wanted Kirk Cousins to be the guy the whole time. So that whole little, marriage didn't really last very long. You know what I mean? So a lot of times in these drafts, the GM might want somebody, but the coach might not want them. So that builds a conflict, and the way they handle the situation isn't for the best of the team and also the athlete. You know what I mean? We look at Justin Fields. We know if he was in a better offense with a better offensive coach, he'll be doing a lot better. But, what we saw with the Browns was horrible. You know what I mean? They didn't have much of a running game. They didn't have much of a passing game, and they didn't adjust to what the Browns were doing. This is coming off Myles Garrett calling out the Texans lines for doubling them and tripling them. He was like, they need to give me one-on-ones. They need to give me one-on-ones. And then look like the Bears was giving them one-on-ones and then zero-on-ones sometimes just to hit Justin Fields. Horrible game plan, man. Matt Nagy is goofy as hell, and he needs to be fired, man. I don't even care if Justin Fields balls out and they start winning. He has definitely shown that, as a head coach, he's definitely very suspect. He's definitely suspect in the way he's handling the situation, and just his stubbornness and the way he's handling himself is, you can tell he's putting his ego over what's best for the Bears, man. So I don't like this, man. Justin Fields, man, he has talent, he has ability, but he just might be in the wrong situation for his development. Hopefully the Bears get it right. Hopefully Matt Nagy gets a reality check from the GM or the owners and gets his mind right, and he understands how talented Justin Fields is, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on my notifications. And that's a wrap on SDMT.